Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023, and tonight I am covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all of the shows along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is salcidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And so tonight is paranormal news. Now, tomorrow, Thursday, I'll be covering more Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, the complete fiction. So that'll be we'll be finishing that this month. It looks like, which is really amazing. So, I have two stories for tonight. Two news stories here. I've already put them in the chat, and of course, I will include them in the episode description on the podcast and YouTube feeds. And thank you all for listening there and for listening here as well, live, whenever you are able. I always appreciate it. Never expect it. As I know everyone has their own things to do. So thank you all for being here when you can. So I found these two stories earlier tonight. Now, or I guess you could say, yeah, it was earlier tonight. Now it's early morning technically, but I get up at night, so nights last for a while for me, even into the morning. And it's funny how they kind of have similar themes here. So let me get to the first of these two articles here, and then we'll go from there. This first one is from Northants Live.news. I'm not sure how you say that exactly, or if that's an abbreviation for something. But this one says, watch ghost hunters visit haunted Kettering salon and find two young children. So talks about this, a paranormal investigator was asked to help look at a shop in, and I'm guessing this is, let me see here. Looking at the, let me see, looking at the link here. So I'm not seeing where this is, but I think this is in the UK. But so this is about this is footage taken as investigators checked out a place, and they apparently caught two young children along with a man called Frank on their devices. So the name of this investigator, we'll just use their first name, Tanya, I think it is, was asked by another friend to who was psychic to help with his investigation. And they were at the shop called Crystal Tips. So let's see here, looking into this goes into a little more about the history of the actually this just the investigators. Let's see here. So this is they talk about how they always try to debunk things when they can. It says that the activity was intelligent responses and apparently use sound in terms of using sounds such as loud bangs and bumps and taps and knocks to respond to questions. Apparently there were also cold and hot spots where said a spirit tries to manifest or let you know that it's in the area. So, which is fairly common. Usually it's more like the cold spots are what you hear about more, but the hot spots are also a thing I've heard. So, let's see here. They talk more about they were using their different devices, and uh, the they had one they had the voice recorders where they thought that someone was trying to speak to them through the white noise, which is something you hear about. It's not uncommon. Um, and according to Tanya, something was manipulating the energy around the device. So, and apparently there were EVPs that were caught. Now the EVP is electronic voice phenomenon, and that's where you get voices on recorders, but you don't hear them in person. It just appears on the devices. And apparently they got words such as hello and help. Um, and so apparently when they say they caught um, these these people, it was through these voices. So voice of a little boy and a little girl, and then a more gruff voice. They said of a man. So and let's see here. It says that oops, I lost my place. Okay, so that apparently the children loved they had these uh toys. They were toy balls that were used for cats normally, but they're used to light up, I believe. And they would ask uh okay, so they put the ball on the floor, and when they would ask questions, they would get EVPs. They would get recordings of voices that were coming from near um these balls. Apparently, also they would flash in response to questions. So so yeah, it just seems like there's activity going on here, and so let's see here, and looking at the rest of this here. Uh, apparently, there was a fire in the location, and that's where the investigators believe these spirits came from. And so let's see. Apparently, there was video evidence on uh, closed circuit television. It was a whirlwind. It says, and so let's see here. So yeah, it sounds like just a whirlwind of energy and of air. So that's something I hadn't heard of before. Really, that's a different one. Um, So, of course, they tried to debunk it, but they were, I guess, not able to. Yeah, so they were unable to figure out where that was coming from. Um, so there was also, again, more voices recorded, and so let me see here. Going through the rest, there's a lot more here in the article, more sounds. Um, so yeah, it's and they try to give some logical explanations for some things here, but yeah, this is the description of this experience here that these investigators had. So definitely check out more of this article here, read it all, and get the rest of the details yourselves. Um, so I just thought that the common thread here you'll see in the next article here. But I always love to hear about these investigations of places and what they find. So that was the first article. Now the second one is what kind of really where I wanted to end with this show today because it raises a question in my mind. This is from uh, birminghammail.co.uk. It says drone captures footage of black-eyed girl ghost on Cannock Chase, and I've heard that name from the UK before, and it says in the article here that it's well known for um, being haunted. They're having paranormal activity going on there. It's not a very long article, but apparently, let's see here. I'm looking at. Oh, that's why it doesn't like the reader mode. I see. One moment while I get out of that, and then Make sure. Okay, it's still muted. Good. So let me get back to this now that I have. Okay. So this is a area out in nature, according to the article here, and basically this park or this forest area here, and so there was this apparition of a could be that the paranormal investigators in this area think could be proof. Of course, proof is always difficult, but um, so this area is considered one of the most haunted places in the UK there. So let me see here. There have been a lot of reports about all kinds of things there, from apparitions to cryptids and all those kind of things, apparently, including reports of a black-eyed girl seen walking around. And it says at first it looks like a regular girl. People see her, and so people that encounter this apparition um, are at first, of course, worried because there's this girl that's out in the middle of nowhere, or at least out in the middle of nature, and but then they see her eyes and she just disappears. So looking at here, let me see here. So the investigator that's basically going over all this, his first name is Robert, um, says that it's thought the apparition. Now, apparently, these are there's multiple of these figures, um, and he believes that they were people that passed due to um, a kind of a plague or a disease outbreak in the 1800s, and which apparently it was the disease was diphtheria. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'm saying that right, but apparently that is said to make their eyes appear sunken and dark. So that's an interesting way to possibly explain these the eyes of these apparitions being dark like that. Of course, the first thing I was thinking more of is the whole black-eyed children thing anyway, which is where they're not even necessarily really children, or at least it's thought that they're not, at least not regular children. But either way, the thing that was amazing to me is, and of course, there's let me see. I'm looking at there's a still image here, and I'm guessing there's a link to the video as well. But the thing that I'm wondering now is, are we going to start having more of these reports of drones picking up things like this? I mean, there's already been an increase in like, what do you call them, dash cams picking up odd things sometimes. But now I think the next wave is going to be drones. And of course, that's putting aside the obvious point that there's going to be hoaxes out there and everything. But so I wonder how that's going to change the paranormal over time, and the capturing of evidence and of apparitions. It makes me wonder too about when people say they see other beings floating in the air. Whatever they look like, where they're not touching the ground. I wonder if more of these drones will eventually pick up more of these kinds of sightings as they become a lot more common, even more so than they already are now. So that was just a question that came to mind with that article, and wanted to bring that up. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you all for listening and being here. I'll be back tomorrow to review more of H.P. Lovecraft, the complete fiction, on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.